All right, I'm going to give you two methods to determine a patient's presbyopic prescription or an ad power for them. These are the most simple, straightforward ways. You'll learn another one with Dr. Cooper and Dr. Luke, either in VT or case analysis in the future. The first method is what I call the oh boy lens, or that's a plus buildup, if you will. If we've got a patient, we've just finished their distance refraction sequence, everything is set up here. First thing we need to do is go ahead and angle the phoropter in. Second thing we'll go ahead and do is we'll drop the reading rod down with a card on it. Have it set at 40 centimeters. We have our 20/20 line of letters on here. We'll rotate this around, have the patient look right out here. And while most patients who are non-presbyopic are going to be able to read some of the letters on that card, your incipient presbyopes or presbyopes, when you flip the reading rod down, they're going to have some difficulty with those letters on that card. So once you flip it down and you bring the light around and shine it on the card, first thing you're going to ask your patients is, can you make out any of those letters on that card? Most are going to say maybe a couple. Most of your incipient presbyopes, most of your absolute presbyopes are going to say maybe a couple. It's at that point in time you say, fantastic, Mrs. Jones. What I need you to do is tell me which lens makes those letters just a little bit more clear. And so what we're going to do is we're starting out with her BSBVA in place, and we're simply going to start adding plus. Does that make them a little bit better, Mrs. Jones?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. How about here?
Yes.
Good. How about now?
Yes.
Good. And how about here?
Yes.
Okay. Now, right there you heard Mrs. Jones hesitate a little bit, so there's some question as to whether maybe that one was as clear as the one before. So this is where we'll go ahead and give her a forced choice and see which one she actually prefers. Now, is it better here with number 1, Mrs. Jones, or here with number 2?
Number 1.
That one's just a little bit better?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Mrs. Jones right here is telling us that this is the most plus that she wants for this target at that 40 centimeters. So here we have an ad power for Mrs. Jones of plus 75. And the ad power is a net. Okay, we started out with plus 75 in the phoropter. Mrs. Jones subjectively liked an additional plus 75. So that tells you that the ad power for Mrs. Jones is plus 3/4 of a diopter. So her distance prescription would have been plus 75 in the right eye and plus a quarter in the left eye. And then it would have a plus 75 ad power. Okay, that's one method for determining the ad power. The other method is the fused cross cylinder. We did that a moment ago. We did it last lab, but I'm going to reiterate that for you. Okay, so here we've got our patient in here. I'm going to put her BSBVA back in place. So we're going to start her out with plus 3/4, plus a quarter. I have my target with the letters on it. I'm going to have her tell me when the letters get so blurry she couldn't make any out at all. Again, we're going through really an NRA where we're blurring out her accommodation totally. And just let me know when you couldn't read any of those at all, Phoebe.
Right here?
Good. I'm going to go 2 past. Tell me when you could read a couple.
Right here.
Great. So now we've blurred her out and recovered. I'm going to go ahead and put the plus minus 50 cross cylinder lenses in place. I'm going to rotate the light to up and behind. I'm going to rotate the cross cylinder around for her. I'm going to turn off my lights. I'm going to ask my patient which set of lines are darker and more distinct, vertical or horizontal.
Vertical.
And now?
Vertical. 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 Horizontal.
Great. So right here we have a plus 150 for our patient. Take the cross cylinders out. You can check visual acuities at that point in time. But here you've been given 2 different methods to come up with a tentative ad power for that patient. You'll notice that the 2 final results were quite different for this patient. That's not unusual because Phoebe, again, is not an incipient presbyope, nor is she an absolute presbyope. If she were an absolute presbyope or even an incipient presbyope, those 2 tests would be very similar in their end results. But this, just for your demo purposes, is how you would perform that.